on this episode of American Travelers. We're on our way to Key West, Florida, and see this diving museum sign. This looks very interesting, so we're going to check it out.
Lisa!
Hi, welcome to the History of Diving Museum. We're so glad you're here.
Thank you. So tell me a little bit about where we're at today.
You're in Islamorada, Florida, in the Florida Keys, and the History of Diving Museum has 4,000 years of the quest to explore under the sea. Whether you're a diver or not, people are amazed at what they see in the exhibits.
Let's go.
Let's take a tour.
Okay, here we go.
So visitors usually don't realize that the first dive logs are actually early writings from Aristotle, King Gilgamesh, about trying to escape from the enemy underneath the ocean. So what we're going to look at is some amazing dive machines that were actually made in the 1800s, and people tested out to see if they would have worked. The History of Diving Museum also has a lot of hands-on, like the early diving bell. Pop in and see what you think. Divers would sit inside and use the bellow pumps to get air out to the divers, salvaging underwater.
My gosh.
We also have a replica Lethbridge barrel, which is actually the first 1 atmosphere suit. So the diver inside had a certain amount of air. They could only go to about 60 feet because then the external pressure would be too great on their arms. Diving helmets actually evolved from early knights helmets that transitioned into early smoke helmets, shallow water helmets, until the commercial divers came on with the suits. And what you'll see in the commercial diving section is onshore, offshore, military diving, as well as international diving helmets and how they changed over the years.
Lisa, what is this contraption here?
So what you're looking at is a replica of an early commercial diver. It took about 7 tenders to man the wheel pump, to turn it, to compress the air, to get it down through an umbilical to the diver working below.
We really appreciate you. Please subscribe, give us a like, and leave a comment. We'll get right back with you.
Lisa, when you think about diving, you think about the adventure, treasure hunting, all the things of undersea, but you tell me more about that.
Well, in our commercial diving, any body of water needs a diver. So it's not just about the ocean and the lakes, but rivers and bridge inspections, nuclear power plants. Anywhere there's a body of water, they need divers, commercial divers, to go down, inspect, and do work. There's a strong South Florida connection to early diving. These helmets were made by the Miller-Dunn Diving Company that was based out of Miami. And the first dive master used an open-bottom diving hood, brought celebrities down, and for a mere $10, you too could be a recreational treasure diver. The Miller-Dunn II went to the Galapagos, used by William Beebe, and launched marine biology studies in a new way. The Miller-Dunn III was used, again, salvaging and treasure hunting, very popular with our local Art McKee. And the Miller-Dunn Company was one of only 4 manufacturers that made the Mark V diving helmet for the Navy.
Lisa, tell me what this is about. It looks like a fun space.
So this is homemade helmets. People are so intuitive and inventive. The most fun one in here, the most popular one, is the rum runner, which actually was used during Prohibition to bring contraband into the United States.
So this looks like a jug.
Or your mom's kettle. Welding it together and putting a contraption together to bring in stuff.
Okay, Lisa, this looks like a gas tank.
And is that your grandma's iron to help weight it and get it down? So one of the other hands-on exhibits that we have is the Etosha Silver Bar. The silver bar is really unique because it's from the Etosha wreck, which is the 1622 fleet that went down and has been salvaged by Mel Fisher off of Key West. Try to pick it up.
Oh my God. Oh, Lisa, it's really heavy. How did they bring it up?
They used ropes, and underwater it's not as heavy. On the surface it's about 70 pounds.
Is this a real treasure chest?
It is from the 16th century.
Where are we at now?
We're walking through 20,000 leagues under the sea. People don't realize that in that story, it was written in the 1800s, talks about marine conservation and growing plants and things underwater. It's really amazing.
So tell me about where we're at now.
We're in the Parade of Nations, which really highlights helmets from all over the world in our international collection. For example, visitors love the John Date helmet, which was made in Canada and is called the Icebreaker. One of the unique helmets that we have is the Russian helmet that was used to train cosmonauts.
Okay, Lisa, so I see some helmets with no grate and then some with grates. What is that?
So the helmets with a grate are usually more for working divers. They don't want things falling on top of them and obviously breaking the glass. There's other times that they need to observe and salvage, and they don't want the grate because they need to be able to look. And actually the different windows are called lights. So the more windows you have, you could say, I have a 4-light helmet. That means you have 4 windows in it.
Don't forget to subscribe and check out our other Key West videos on our channel.
The diver on the stage has got a Mark V, and you'll see all of the equipment he needs, as well as the weight belt that he has. Other dive systems might have a chest weight, but it helps to hold them down because the units are a couple hundred pounds on the surface, but they're neutrally buoyant underwater.
Lisa, now we're heading into scuba.
Self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. You'll notice that we're 3/4 of the way through the exhibits before we ever get to actually playing underwater. Fins weren't mass-produced until about World War II, and actually in the beginning it was called swim diving, skin diving, before the term scuba diving kind of stuck.
Lisa, where are you?
The aquarium gives people an opportunity to see what it's like to be underwater.
We're in a wild place. Tell me about this.
We're in the abyss with our 1 atmosphere suits. They were made from the 1910s, 20s, 30s. We didn't even have good cars back then, and people are going hundreds of feet underwater to work and salvage.
I have to say this was a very educational tour about diving. This is a must-see when traveling the Keys. Thanks for watching American Travelers. We really appreciate you. Please subscribe, give us a like, and leave a comment. We'll get right back with you. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram.